Hi, this is Stacy with Lily Bean Crafts by Stacy. Welcome back, and if it's your first time, thanks for stopping by. Taking a small break since Christmas of doing my soap dispensers, but I am back at it full speed ahead. So I did want to make one St. Patrick's Day one, so that is what today's tutorial is going to be about. So I did sand this down and I spray painted it with a white matte spray paint, let it dry. Now I'm going in with my glitter glue, and I am going in with my favorite white glitter, which is Skin of a Killer from Rae Creations. And once I have this completely covered, I'm going to put it off to the side, and then I'm going to go in with my glitter glue once it's dry and make sure that I have it all sealed. Put that off to the side for about 4 hours. And now I am going in with 20 ml of my Flynn Sisters Fast Set Epoxy. I'm going to go ahead and get this fully covered. I do have it taped around the top, so once I have all the epoxy on, I'm going to go ahead and pull the tape. I let that spin for about 2.5 hours, and then I go directly in with another 10 ml of my Fast Set Epoxy. Let that dry, and then we'll start working on the peekaboo. So one thing I like to do when I'm working with alcohol inks is I like to make the lines really thin that I'm going to be showing with the peekaboo. So I just found this really cute like double shamrock SVG on Creative Fabrica, and I'll go ahead and I'll link that in the description. So I'm just taking a little bit of my transfer or my stencil vinyl, cutting it out. I cut it out with my Cricut. Now I'm just going to go ahead and cut all this out, and I'm going to use my transfer tape and go ahead and get some of this applied to the dispenser. I will say that it was a little bit challenging because my dispensers are square with a little bit of a rounded edge to them. So doing anything around the curve is a little bit more challenging. If you did this design on a tumbler, especially like a skinny or a plump tumbler, this would be so easy and so fast. But because I had that little bit of extra with the curves and the edges, made for making this a little bit more interesting. I'm just going to very carefully apply these, like I said, because of the edging. And at the top of this dispenser or mason jar, it's got a little bit of a curve to it. So when you're doing this, if you run across any like bumps or where it comes up a little bit, I just take an X-Acto knife, trim it, and then lay it down flat. And that generally takes care of any problems like that for me. Want to make sure that I go ahead and tape off the top again. I don't want to get any alcohol inks on that. And then we'll get to work with making a peekaboo. I'm going to take my little sea sponge here that's been used many times, and I'm just going to build up on the look of this. So I'm starting with the lighter colors. This is Hocus Pocus from Woody's Goodies, and I will let you know that Woody's Goodies is going out of business, so she is doing a big sale where everything is 30% off with the code GONE30. If you like any of her micas or alcohol inks, anything like that, I would hurry up and get to it. I've got another big shipment coming in hopefully on Friday of some micas that I ordered, but if you want to get anything, now is the time to get it. Once I have that on, I am then going to grab some of my Jen's Crafty Gems, and I'm going to be applying absinthe with that. And then from there, I'll be going in with my Bria Reese alcohol inks, and I'll be adding Kelly Green, which is more of like a, starting to get into more like of an olivey tone and things like that. And then I finish it off with a dark green, and this is from Jen's Crafty Gems, and I used Beetlejuice. Now you can use any combination of greens that you have. I just wanted to start with the lighter colors and then build it up to the darker. With me doing this, you can see some of the color variations through it, and I really like the way that it works. And with inks, if you start with the darkest one and work your way backwards, you won't get those variations as much. That dark color will just take up most of it. So that's why I did it this way. So I am just slowly going around and applying it. I did not use any alcohol ink on this one. I just went straight with it. I will say that once there was a couple spots that just looked a little bit like bland, I did go ahead and put more of the ink on there, especially this darker color. And as it was still wet, I would blow on it, and that would disperse it a little bit and give it that really cool color variation that I was looking for. And I went ahead and I put it off to the side, and I'm going to let it completely dry. And now I'm just going to go and remove all of my stencil vinyl. This is my favorite part of the process. I just love seeing it. The green with the white looks so pretty together. It really is beginning to give the look that I wanted with this particular dispenser. Before I go on to the next step, I'm going to go ahead and put on 10 mLs of my fast set epoxy, let this dry for 4 hours, and then we're going to start doing some more outlining. Since for St. Patrick's Day, I decided to go with a real deep, like gold. I can't even say this is a holographic. It is a holographic because it's a metallic, but it's just a solid color of gold or champagne. So I'll go ahead and link in the description. I got this from Amazon. I just printed off the exact same outlines that I did with my stencil vinyl. So I'm just going to go ahead and go through the process of removing all of this and laying it down. I will say once again, it is very, very difficult to lay this around the edges. And to top it off, this particular vinyl shows imperfections really easily, so I had to be really careful with applying it. I did still use an X-Acto knife, and I would trim it just to get rid of any like pieces that wanted to stay up or any bubbles or anything like that, and I was able to get it all pulled off exactly the way that I wanted it to be. I also decided to print off a couple of smaller ones, so I made a couple of smaller outlines and then applied those as well. And then I'm going to go immediately in with another 10 mLs of my fast set epoxy. Go ahead and get all of this gold sealed and let this dry for 4 hours, and then we're going to do one more set of outlines. I was going to do a dark green outline to go for the final coat, but I didn't have any dark green vinyl and I didn't feel like taking a trip to Michael, so black it is. So I just did the same thing. I made some of the large ones, some of the small ones, and then I'm just going to go ahead and weed this all out. This black vinyl that I'm using is from Tech Wrap Crafts. I got that right on Amazon. I can link that as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and get these all put on. I will say that applying regular permanent vinyl to the curves is way easier than the holographic or the metallic vinyl that I use. So I'm going to go ahead and get this on and get it going to the next step. I'm going to go ahead and go in with my final 10 mLs. This is my Artist Cure resin from Flynn Sisters. This is what's going to make that amazing shine on there. It's what I always finish all of any of my tumblers, dispensers, any products that I use that at the very end here. And if you use code LBC10, you can save 10%. In fact, for a short term until March 9th, it's 15% off plus my discount, so 25% off the epoxy. But that's only if you see this like as soon as this releases. So I'm going to go ahead and let this spin for 8 to 10 hours, and then it will be all done. This is a very easy dispenser to do, or if you did it in a tumbler, but it looks really cute and crafty. And I'm so glad that I decided to go with this particular design for St. Patrick's Day. And here is the final product. Look at that shine. It is just incredible. All of the different colors and tones came together so beautifully. I love how the glitter, you can see it through everything. Really, really came together well. If you like this tutorial, please hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see everybody again next week. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.